What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Ortho Arizona Recruiting Roundup. I'm Claudia Collins alongside Cody Cameron. And now that we're in season week after week, we plan to bring you something fresh, but something we have been talking about lately is catching up with committed seniors. We've got a good bunch of them. I expect the offers and the commitments are going to start really picking up here soon. But you saw someone committed to New Mexico State this past week. So who'd you see and what'd you like?
Yeah, I went to go watch Walden Grove versus Eastmark in East Mesa, and it's two of the top teams in the 4A conference. And you are correct, Claudia. We talk about a lot of these committed senior athletes in the class of 2026, and they're not all in the Phoenix area. Down in Walden Grove, their defensive lineman, Steven Valdez Jr., is really, really talented. I have known this kid for 3 or 4 years. We take Walden Grove to our California team camp, and I've watched this kid grow, and he's getting better every single year, but the violence off the snap, great pad level. He has a tremendous motor, and he was awesome out there on Thursday. He had a couple sacks, a couple more tackles for loss, and you just kind of saw that relentless effort every single down. I caught up with Steven to talk about many things. One, about how he's improved, what the commitment has meant to him, why he committed to New Mexico State, and also something about, hey, you can get found anywhere in the state of Arizona if you have really, really good film. Check it out.
I mean, ever since, freshman or sophomore year, I felt like, things were a little off for me. I felt slow off the ball. Mentally as well, I wasn't mentally set, mentally sound. I kept messing up on plays. And, over the summers, I picked up personal trainers, Coach Briggs, shout out Coach Briggs, all my trainers at Jet Sports Training, they helped me develop into just this beast I am right now, and getting double team, triple team, I just, all credit to them. And so I just feel like, getting faster off the ball, using my hands, dipping, everything really came together for my senior year. And I'm definitely trying to end with the big one for sure. Coming out of, a smaller city, it just means so much. Definitely putting my school on the map. All my brothers, my coaches, I couldn't be here without them. All the work, they put me through, all of them hyping me up every single time. It definitely means the world to me. Shout out to my parents for sure. They told me anything was possible, I just got to keep working. And, anything is possible. And, I just proved it myself. And so it doesn't matter where you play at, it's just keep working. And they just made it feel like home. They made me feel myself there. They made me feel like believe in myself, and it's giving me that confidence as a player.
Cody, and you left us with a message that I think is really important. It doesn't matter if you're not in the Phoenix metro area or, in the heart of Tucson. It doesn't matter. If you have the talent, you can be seen, you can get offers, you can play college football. So let's talk about more guys that are going to have that potential. Let's start over in Payson.
Yeah, let's go to 3A football. It's probably my favorite conference in all of the state of Arizona, Claudia. Payson football is red hot right now under Coach Burke. They're 3-0 to start the year. One of their senior athletes, Marco Gorecke, is one of those seniors that the state of Arizona needs to put on notice. One, he's one of the best returners in the state of Arizona, already a couple really long kickoff returns. And in the first 3 games, he has 6 touchdown receptions. I mean, this kid he's kind of proven right now that hey, he cannot be guarded, especially in one-on-one situations. So he's a really good athlete. I know Coach Burke pubs the heck out of him too over at Payson. Watch out for the Longhorns. That's a very, very good team.
Yeah, and I want to add he was the 3A All-Region Player of the Year. He also runs track. We love our multi-sport athletes. And I guess he was the number one sophomore decathlon athlete. So
Let's
athlete
go.
is an understatement in this case. Hey, I have one more stop I want to take us on this little recruiting road trip, we'll call it. Let's go to Round Valley.
Yeah, I love Round Valley. This seriously might be the best team in 3A. They are that talented. Those kids get after it. They're also 3-0 to start the year. They have a junior running back who kind of does a little bit of everything multi-sport, Brody Crick, and Brody is electrifying. Claudia, his tape, his speed is on full display here. He tore up Florence. And Florence is not a bad football team in 3A. Tore him up, went 115 yards on the ground, a touchdown, and also had 5 receptions for 65 yards and a pair of touchdowns through the air as well. Kind of shows you a little versatility of the kid, but he is electrifying. Really and truly, this junior tailback and this Rowland Valley team as a whole is pretty darn good this year.
I think that's one of the things that's really fun about these smaller schools and football is they kind of do a little bit of everything, right? Oftentimes they're playing on both sides of the ball. They play multiple sports. I mean, I started covering football in Amarillo, Texas, and I was going to small towns and I was seeing, hey, okay, I was just covering him in baseball season and now it's fall football season. I'm seeing the same guys and, all of that goes a really, really long way. So I love the message out of this, which is doesn't matter. If you have the talent and you have the desire, you can play college football. And that's what we want to leave you with this week on the Recruiting Roundup. For more recruiting news, you can head to sports360az.com.